and welcome to Live in the Solution. These are your readings for February the 26th through March the 4th. And first of all, I want to give a little astrological report on what's going on, because there's a lot going on this week. And I will put in the show more section below the timeline that you can skip the astrological report if you are checking out your sun, moon and rising, because these are for your sun, moon and rising also. Thank you guys for all the wonderful comments, for liking my videos, for sharing them, and for subscribing. And please, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I have also created a Patreon page, and if you would like to show a little love, you know, please patronize me on Patreon. People say, don't patronize me. Please patronize me. The link to Patreon is in the show more section below. I welcome constructive criticism. I just kind of did it today. It was, or yesterday, I should say. So I've kind of, you know, trying to get my head around all this technical stuff, and you know, it is what it is anyway. So I would really appreciate it if you check out my Patreon page. So without further ado, let's go to the astrological happenings and transits this week. Now we have on the 1st, we have a full moon in Virgo. Now Virgo is the opposite sign of Pisces, and Pisces is dreamy, watery, go with the flow, spiritual, yeah, whatever, you know. And Virgo is practical. It's an earth sign. It's, you know, a perfectionist, analytical, you know, has to get things right. Now, this is happening, I normally don't mention the degrees, but this is happening at 11 degrees and 22 minutes. 2 power numbers. So that's kind of exciting. So it means it's a very powerful full moon. We're going to feel kind of emotional and possibly self-critical or criticizing others. We need to be aware of this. We need to be aware of our internal dialogue. We need to be aware of how we need to be kind. So we've got to put kindness and compassion in front this week. And it's really important to keep our focus on what we have accomplished as opposed to what we haven't, and how we've done our best. And if we are going to criticize, we need to do it in constructive criticism. Like I take constructive criticism, I welcome it. I can have growth through constructive criticism. I don't take that personal, but when it's unkind, and of course, that hurts my feelings if it's unkind. So I'm very fortunate that I get lovely comments. Occasionally, I'll get one or two that are unkind, and I just send them off with love. Because what you put out, you know, you get back sometimes. So I have to be mindful to be constructively critical about myself, because we can also, when we're constructively critical with ourselves, it's kind of personal growth, isn't it? It's looking at where we need to improve. That's constructive criticism, but it's not, you know, like you're no good and you can't do this and why do you bother, and you know, you're useless, and you know, those kind of thoughts are not helpful. So we have to really be aware of our internal dialogue and how we're treating others. We all want to be treated with kindness and compassion, don't we? So that's what we need to do. We need to do with others. Now, at the time of this full moon, around the time of this full moon, we also have Mercury in a positive aspect to Jupiter, which means, you know, Mercury is about the intellect, Jupiter is about expansion. So it means, you know, brilliant ideas, innovative, creative ideas. And I always feel that we get that when we go inside and we meditate. So that's a brilliant, wonderful opportunity to meditate and get these wonderful, incredible, creative ideas and how to move forward with our lives. Now, we have, of course, we have the sun in Pisces. and right next to Neptune. And the sun is about identity. Neptune is about, spirituality, angels, guides. It's a wonderful time to connect with your spirit guides and angels and really connect spiritually, and really identify what your belief system is. This is a wonderful time to explore that. Incredible creative meditations are possible at this time. Now, Mercury and Venus are conjunct with Jupiter in Scorpio, right? Mercury and Venus in Pisces are conjunct with Jupiter in Scorpio. So we've got Jupiter in play a lot. This is expansion. So it's very, very important to keep our thoughts and positive and optimistic, and because we can go down the spiral in the other way, right? Whatever we focus on expands at this time. So it's really, really important to really look at how we're thinking and what we're projecting out into the world. It's a wonderful time. That aspect creates this wonderful kind of spiritual conversations. It's about being receptive. It's feminine energy. It's receptivity and it's healing, deeply healing. So when we can have these philosophical, incredible spiritual conversations, and it's a very healing energy that's coming in. It's about having trust and faith in divine timing. It's about being patient, because we could have this tendency to be a little irritated next week. If we are aware of that, we can sit back, take a breath, and just, you don't know what someone else is going through. You don't know what feelings they're processing and so it's about being patient, it's about being kind, and it's about stepping back and being in Pisces energy. Okay, let's go with the flow. You don't have to beat the horn. You don't have to, shout at someone. You don't have to, put yourself in that anger. Now, Venus and Mercury connect with Chiron, right? And Chiron's the healing wound, the wounded healer, the healing wounded, the wounded healer. This is a perfect time for healing and personal growth, and it's a positive healing energy. So this week, I think, is a wonderful week when we're aware of the shadow side of things, so that we can keep it on the positive. We can, connect with other people and, have these wonderful conversations. We can meditate. We can work on it, healing our soul, healing our psyche, expansion, growth. Personal growth. This is a perfect week for personal growth. March has the energy of the number 5. Freedom, expansion, change, doing things differently, not wanting to be tied down, keep moving forward, keep it on the move, restlessness, right? So it's interesting that we have all these planetary aspects, this astrological change that's going on. So it really kind of goes with March, right? Okay, let's go to your cards, shall we? Hello, Libra, and welcome to your reading for February the 26th through March the 4th. And the first card that comes up for you is the Knight of Swords. He's popped up in quite a few readings so far, so it's interesting. There's probably a lot of crossover. Check the other cards, the other readings below in the Show More section. Now, the Knight of Swords is about rushing in, judging people. I'm laughing, right? Or I'm laughing because, darling, look what's clarifying it. The Justice card. The Knight of Swords, he's fast-paced, he's fast-moving, and he's quick to judge. And he's really a champion for justice. He really, you know, I always feel that karma is at play when this comes up. So it's very, and also when it comes up, I'm always thinking, you know, you've got to think on your feet, think through it. He's black and white. Maybe you have to look at the gray area here. And, you know, not be so quick to judge. And that's very, this full moon, you know, criticism is, yeah. And take time to go over all the details, and don't be quick to judge. Be balanced and be non-partial. This is intellect. This is self-judgment too. So you have to really, this is a big issue for us this week. So we really have to be mindful of how critical we can be for ourselves and others. It's about being kind and compassionate with ourselves and others too, ourselves as well. Now, the next card that came up for you is the Six of Cups. This to me is very Neptune in Pisces. It's like being off, dreaming, like thinking about the past, romanticizing the past. This can be childhood issues coming up. This is about, when this card comes in, I always say it's about coming back into the present moment, right? This is like all dreamy, you know, water, you know, children. Sometimes this can mean that you're kind of romanticizing the past, but it's not quite what you remember. You know, it's so easy. It's like when you get out of a relationship, when you first get out and you're like, oh, this was so good about them, that was so good about them, and you forget why the hell you broke up in the first place. And then you get back together and then you're like, oh God, I can't take it. We always romanticize, you know, what it was. And we have to have quite a bit of distance before we can really see the truth in the situation. Now, you see, this is the Queen of Spring, right? And this is about confidence in yourself. And that's, I'm really, really getting that you're kind of berating yourself, and you'll have this tendency to perhaps criticize yourself, so it'll affect your self-esteem. So when she comes into play, she's saying, listen, don't underestimate yourself, spread your wings, fly, you can do this. Don't be distracted by the past, come out of that, get into the present moment. This is about moving forward, Libra. It's about taking action and going forward. It's not about sitting still and, you know, dreaming. And this is about putting the bat down and picking up the feather, being kind to yourself. Now, you've got two cards together here. You've got the moon, right? And I always say that the moon is going to shed a light on the situation. And for me, I always, you know, people say, oh, you know, it's not quite what it seems to be. For me, this is about looking at the truth in the situation. A light's going to be shed on something that's dark. So something is going to come to the surface, and you're going to know that it's time to move on. You're ready to move on from this, whatever this is. You can't be where you're at any longer. You can't. This is about getting in that boat. You see, it's about moving forward. You've got to get in that boat and you've got to sail to greener pastures. Listen, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if you're going to land on a beach with, you know, pebbles and it's not quite as green as you thought about it. But guess what? When this card comes up, it's going to be a lot better than where you are. And sometimes we have to navigate through treacherous waters to get to the other side. But this is like things are looking up for you. These things are looking up. It's a difficult situation that you've been in, and you're getting in that boat and you're going anyway. This is about taking action. I don't have to tell you to get in the boat. You're going. And I always feel that this is like something's going to be illuminated for you. You're going to see the truth and you're going to get in that boat and you're going to go no matter what, you know, because you know that you can't stay where you're at any longer because it's too painful and it's not working out. So this is the 10 of autumn, and this is about happy family life. That I have a feeling that wherever you're going, it's going to be a good thing. This is like all your needs are being met. This is contentedness. This is about also planning for your future financially as well, seeing an optimistic future, seeing that possibility. You know, if you have money, don't overspend it right now. It's very important to kind of keep a tight lid on your purse, so to speak, because we may, you know, we've got Venus next to Jupiter, and that's can be a tendency to overspend. So, you know, hold on to your purse strings. Don't overdo it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't overdo it with everything. Wherever you go, it's going to be a good thing. I definitely see that. Libra, and I know that you're ready to move on, but just remember, don't rush in, don't think on your feet, but take time to really see what's going on here. You know, it's not black and white. Think about the gray area too, and come out of that dream state. It's time to take action. It's time to get in that boat and go, darling. Go off to greener pastures. Thank you so much, Libra, for tuning in. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week. To inquire about or purchase any of Mary's services, please email Mary at liveinthesolution.com.